back with another tutorial of MATLAB, and today we are going to look how we can create a table, or what are the different commands that you can use with the table, or how you can add rows to the table, or how you can convert a data type, different data type, or different form of data into the table, or how you can import the table as well from the sources that you have already. Like for example, you have a CSV and you want to bring it to the MATLAB, how you can import that data. So these are all the questions I will answer today, and let's start video and we'll clear everything first. So one way, there are several ways I'll define, I'll explain all of them today. First way to define a table is to define all the columns. Let's say you want first column as the last name of the people, so you can define the last name of the people. These are in the terms of strings. This data is in the terms of strings. I already talked about the data types in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, please pause this video, and I have dropped the link in the description about various data types in MATLAB. So please go ahead and check that. It will help you to understand various data types. So you will enter last names, let's say, and then you can enter the ages. Let's say you want the ages as the second column, then you want logical value of true or false, whether the person is smoker or not, what is the height, what is the weight, and what is the blood pressure. This way you have defined all the columns. Okay, so you can see in your workspace you have all the columns, and you have different kind of variables as you have logical, string, double. Okay, now you want to create the table with these tables, with these columns. So what you can do is you can give the name of the table. Let's say you want patients as the name of the table, and then enter the command table and arrange all the columns in the order you want to see in the table. Let's say you want to see last name first, then age, then smoker. So arrange them in the form you want to see. When I'll run this, you will see a table created in the way you want. Here you can see the table. It's patients, and you can see last name, age, smoker, height, everything in the order you want. Okay, this is one way. Now let's say you have created a table, and now you want to add another column. Let's say you want to add BMI into the same table. What you can do is you can use the dot notation. Patients dot BMI will assign another column named BMI and will input the values that you have given. For example, you are calculating by this formula. You can give them in the form of vector, like for example, you have given the weights here, right? So you can use any form of input, but here I am using this formula. Let's run this and see how it works. So now you can see the columns are increased. So initially it was 5 by 6, now it is 5 by 7. BMI is also added. So that's how you can add the columns, additional columns to the table that already has some columns. Another way, this is by the way one way you can create the table. There is another way where you can create a table first, an empty table, and then you can assign columns, all the columns to that empty table. For example, I have created this patient 2 as an empty table here. So you can see patient 2, this is 0 by 0 empty table here. You can open it and see there is nothing inside. Now I have already defined these last name, age, smoker, height, everything over here. Okay, and I'll assign each of them as the columns of this table. So again, remember dot notation. Patients is already, patients 2 is already defined table. Dot name would be the title of that column, and then last name would be the value. Similarly, age, smoker, height, etc. Let's run this, and you can see this patient 2. It has the names that you have defined, and it has all the columns as well. Okay, very well. Now this is another way, by the way. So there is third way now that I'm going to describe, is you can define the size of the table, and then you can define the variable types, and then you can define the variable names. Now you have all the titles of your table, and then you can input the data into the rows of that table. Let's say I have said that we can define size, variable types, and variable names. Okay, and let's run these three, and we have defined everything here. Okay, now we want to create this table, and the syntax that we will use is the name of the table is temps, and then table, and within the parentheses, first thing you specify is size, then the second thing you specified is variable type, and then third thing you have specified is variable names. And these three in black are the variables that you have defined in row number 28, 29, and 30, while variable names, variable types, and size is the syntax. If you double click on some of these, you can see this will pop up. This is the syntax we are using. So whenever you need some help, you can double click on it and it will show you are going right or wrong. It is showing you the syntax. You can specify size in inverted commas, similarly variable types and variable names, and then value is what you have already defined. So you can define any value. Let's run this command, and we can see the name was temps. So we can see this table created. It has the column names, it has the variable types. So you can see this is double, this is not a time, and this is a string which shows it's missing. So variable types are there, whatever you have defined. Okay, now you can assign the values in the two forms. One is you can use the cell arrays. Now if you want to use cell arrays, remember you can only assign values to one row at a time with this cell array. For example, I want to assign row number 1 and row number 2 with the variable 75 and data time, which is right now, and then string s1. Similarly, I want to assign second row a variable 68, date and time, which is now, and then s2, now plus 1, sorry. So when I run this, you will see what happens is that it has assigned the values to first two rows. Okay, so every time you want to assign the value, you have to type a different command with cell array. Another way is you can define a smaller table and then assign that smaller table to some rows that you want. For example, row number 3 and 4 were empty, and now I want to use a table command to enter the values of last two rows at the same time by using one command. So I can use the table command. Similarly, temp 3 and 4 is showing you are going to assign values to row number 3 and 4, and then table, and within table you can assign third and fourth row first column elements, third and fourth row second column elements, third and fourth row third column elements. And when you run this, let's see, you will see the elements are assigned, these values are assigned to row number 3 and 4. Now if you want to extend the rows, for example, you want to assign some values to row number 6, however the table has already 4 rows. If you do that, you can use similar command like these commands. Let's say I'm using cell array and I'm giving value to row number 6 instead of 1 and 2. When I do that, the fifth row, which is not assigned something, will be filled with the default values, but the sixth row will get the values from this row number 45. Let's run this and you will see here this has the default values, while row number 6 has been assigned with the values that you have given just now. So that is how you can create table, add rows, different ways of creating table. Now if you have array type data, let's say I have created this one, and this A is an array, you can see it. Okay, this is an array. Now this 3 by 3 array, if you want to convert it to a table, you can use array to table command. Similarly, there is like structure to table, there are various other commands, structure to table, table to structure, array to table, and conversely table to array. So for example, you want to convert array to table, you can run this. Let's see, and you can see here A2T is the new defined table, and by default it has like variable names A1, A2, and A3. Now if you want to give new names to this table, this already created table, you can call this A2T and equal to then array to table, And similar command, but now you are, instead of just giving the when you double click on it here, you can see options are appearing here, array to table and then options. So you can just give the value of that a, which is the array you want to convert, or you can give further options as well. What are the options? Like for example, you can give the variable names. Here we are giving the variable names. Let's see. So you can see now you are giving variable names, and then you are giving all 3 columns names. When I run this now, you'll not just see the table, but you can see these 3 names as well, okay, which was not the case in the previous run. And the last thing that I want to show you is, you can, let's say you already have a data in the form of CSV, and now you want to import it in your file, and instead of typing in the MATLAB, you can do that definitely, and that is by using read table command. So for example, outages, this is outages.csv, by the way, is the file that is provided in the MATLAB library, so you don't have to create one. This is just an example. So you can use outages, readable outages.csv, and then text type. For example, you have several data types in that table. Some columns are like double, some columns are strings, but you want all of them to be a string. So you can define data type string, and it will give all the elements in the form of string. Let's run this, and you can see this was outages, and here it is. So it has all the variables imported. Another important thing I want to mention here is that what is the right format to import CSV. So I already told you the command in the MATLAB, but the format that you can use in CSV to create that CSV, or if you already have a CSV, you can correct that format. You can use comma separated CSV. So let's say this is the first row of your table that will be created by using this CSV. This is the second row. This is the third row. So the first row has all the elements of the columns which are comma separated. Similarly, second row has all the elements of the column of second row and are comma separated. This is third row. Okay, so you should consider this as a proper format so that your data is not messed up. So with that, I hope this video will help you how you can create a table. Please post questions if you have any, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you then. Bye bye.